Welcome to Gays Watch Degrassi, the podcast where my expertise
and my skepticism
shines a new rainbow on this Canadian after-school special. Today we are listening to Season 2, Episode 9, Mirror in the Bathroom. This episode is named for a song by The Beat that was released in 1980. Here we go with the synopsis of this episode. Toby wants to change his image, especially to impress his crush, Kendra, and decides to go out for wrestling. But when he is in Sean's weight class, he goes on a crash diet to move down, going to extremes that get him in danger. Terri is changing too, from new clothes to new gadgets, and her friends learn that she has become a model, plus size. But when Muhammad makes a mean comment, she goes to extremes because she is embarrassed. Spinner and JT respectively come to their friends' rescues and help them love themselves as they are. So that's what happened. In today's episode, there's lots of crossover with the A plot and the B plot. They have a lot of similar themes. Start off with the episode morning announcements, and it's announced that the computer team that Toby's, like the captain of, placed third in regionals. Miss Kwan says, "Oh, well done, Toby," but no one reacts that strongly, just some claps. Then, when Sean announces the overall MVP, Miss Kwan hilariously says, "That's fantastic, Sean." And everyone just cheers and claps, and it's like such a severe contrast between the two.
Oh, and he's got his wrestling jacket, so you know he's actually a wrestler.
Mm-hmm. Because your jacket says the sport you do on the back, not, your name. JT has a pretty funny line. "NASCAR's exciting. Brittany a hot tub. That's exciting. Third place in some geek contest? No." And even Emma laughs at that. Intro time. Whatever it takes. Know I can make it through.
Take one DNA, pass it back.
They're learning about DNA in Miss Hot Sauce's class. What did you expect? "Oh, Toby, I just love a man that can write binary code." Would you really be writing binary code in a computer
Hopefully not.
contest? They're coming up with ideas for him to change his image. "You could moon the calf. I could dye my hair green. You could pick up snowboarding." And then Toby says, "I could try out for the wrestling team." JT says, "No, that's a bad idea." But we can tell Toby's already made up his mind. Terri has a new phone that has wireless internet access, email, and GPS.
Damn.
It's pretty hilarious how low the standards were in the past. We also have a Canada speak moment.
Say about.
A boot.
Hazel says, "You got a new bag." It kind of seems like she tries to say bag, but it only halfway gets there. They start postulating that Terry's stealing stuff.
Also, why is it do you think she has a bad case of sticky fingers? More like shoplifting? Aren't they the same thing?
I guess that's for all of us that don't know what sticky fingers means.
That'd be weird, if one of your friends is like, "Oh man, I bet they have some sticky fingers." And you're like, "You mean shoplifting?" You'd be like, "Yeah, dummy. What I just said, sticky fingers." No, I would think Terri actually has sticky fingers and she's accidentally taking these things from stores. And that's why she couldn't even get her lunch, because she knows it will just stick to her hand.
You laugh until it happens to you. Oh, product placement.
7 slamming spices.
Cheerios in the calf. JT mentions what happened in gym yesterday, which is one of the deleted scenes of the episode.
I can't believe you deleted me.
In the deleted scene, It's all of them in gym doing sit-ups. None of them have their feet under anything. They're just doing sit-ups. I'm like, that's weird. But Toby, like, can only do, like, a couple. And it's, like, minimum 10. And, like, there's a part where everyone's, like, cheering, Toby, Toby. But he still, like, can't do it. And only does, like, a couple. And then, like, everyone's like, nerd, ha, and stuff like that. It's, like, I can see why they cut it, because it's just kind of a weird scene, you know?
Especially since he said he feels invisible and they're cheering him on.
Yeah. So, that doesn't add up, really. Another deleted scene.
I can't believe you deleted me.
In the gym, Kendra congratulates Toby in sort of a sarcastic way, like, oh, congrats on your, like, nerdy thing you did. But I don't think she's really making fun of him, just kind of jibbing him a little bit, you know? And then he says, oh, well, I'm done with that. I'm trying out for wrestling. And she says, cool, awesome. So this is, like, the first example of, like, it's actually working. She, like, says it's cool and stuff. And so in his mind, he's like, oh, she likes wrestlers, whereas she's probably just trying to be supportive, if I had to guess, you know? But
even Ashley doesn't think he should be wrestling.
yeah. You wrestling? Right. One of the only moments Ashley's actually... She gets... we're back to Terri. She gets, like, a call or something. They're making a joke that it's her parole officer because they think that she's stealing stuff. But then Spinner calls them outside. There's an ad with a big picture of Terri.
Oh, I thought you were gonna mention that he says you gotta check this out.
He says, you guys gotta come check this out. And Paige says, not that again. What does that mean?
Dog poo, dead animal.
Yeah, that's funny. I was like, what did they get shown before? And she's like, not that again. Like, it just cracked me up postulating what it could have been.
An empty condom on the bus stop or something.
Gross.
Well, you gotta show someone it.
But it's none of those things. It's a big ad of Terri because she's a model.
For more girl.
Yeah. More girl. Muhammad walks by and calls her beluga. Did he use a wide-angle lens or what?
He sounds like Marco.
Paige has another funny line where she says, yeah, like you need a microscope to find. Hazel elbows her and she says, I was gonna say brain. Like she was gonna comment on his microscopic penis.
That fro.
Right, I never noticed, like, in the background of the wrestling match, or wrestling tryouts, rather, there's, like, one kid with a humongous afro.
I guess it can fit under the headpiece, the headgear.
I guess. Do they have to wear that thing? I don't think they've been wearing it in this episode.
I think if your hair's in the way, probably.
So, Toby learns a big issue he has at wrestling practice. He's in the same weight class as Sean, and only one person per weight class, it seems like, is gonna join the team.
So Sean weighs 125 pounds, and Toby weighs 121 pounds?
That seems like a lot for them being, like, 13.
No, that seems like a little if Sean's meant to be, like, the best one. Like, I feel like I was weighing over 125 by the time I was, like, 12 or 13. I mean, by the time I was 16, 17, I was 180.
Maybe they're just really fit. I don't know.
It just makes no sense. That's all I'm saying. If he's in the, like, 52 to 57 category, then that's, like, 125 to 127 or whatever.
Weird. They probably were just, I mean, whoever wrote this episode, it seems like they didn't know a bunch about wrestling.
I mean, I don't know a bunch either, but I just think Sean weighs more than 125 pounds. That's all I'm saying.
They decide to look up a wrestling site, and JT finds a, like, WWE style wrestling site. Not, like, you know.
Making weight a bad move. Even though that's what everyone does if they're in wrestling. It's like the whole part of wrestling is making weight.
Here, okay, we gave it a pause. Here's what it says.
Is a serious offense?
Making weight in most professional athletic communities is a serious offense. Untrue. The term making weight seems to be a fairly ironic phrase, as the person who is making weight is actually pulling off pounds as opposed to putting them on.
Wait, so this person thinks that making weight can only mean addition? If you're making something, you're only adding.
Also, actually is spelled wrong, so they did not. They made this quickly, but
this is usually achieved in order to move down to a different, less threatening weight class.
That's
such a diss on all the lower weight classes.
That's not really how weight classes work,
right?
It's just different types, of fighting.
High school, blah blah, blah something. And Olympic levels will not tolerate
such bandying. Is that what that says? About with weight division amongst the grapplers, and will usually disband those who become involved.
No, that's not true. At most, you can't do stuff like use IVs to recover.
Mr. Simpson makes a joke. We don't make weight on the computer team. We make programs. It's not even a good joke. So yeah, whoever, it seems like they didn't really understand, the concept when they, wrote this in. I think it's a really interesting thing to explore, because I definitely know that there are young kids who are already having to make weight, and it's really, when you're still growing, it can be not good for you to do that, you know? So, but they kind of did it wrong by not really, getting stuff wrong. But also, it's so short. It's problem, and then the problem goes away. That's not really how that works.
He's just, losing weight. He's not actually doing any wrestling drills. He, threw a medicine ball a bit and ran.
The medicine ball part's pretty funny, in my opinion. Alright, they're in the mini mart. This is our biggest product placement moment of the episode.
7 Slammin' Spices.
They have Chupa Chups. The lollipops.
Oh, the ones, those weird ones that they are in the display.
That was made by Salvador Dali.
What?
The logo.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so random.
They're delicious.
Hey, don't get off my fries, dog.
Well, besides the Chupa Chups? Chupa Chups. Well, besides those, we also have Gatorade and Quaker, which have both been featured in previous episodes. So those are returning sponsors. There's drinks behind as well, but I can't really identify any of them. Laxatives are next to the energy bars.
So tasty going in.
Oh my god, and there's Kraft Dinner right behind them. Kraft Dinner Easy Mac.
Hey, madame.
Yo, dog.
That's so interesting. But without JT knowing, and even though JT makes the jokes about...
Why does he have to be shirtless to eat the chocolate?
I don't know why he has to be shirtless to be eating the laxatives. I guess to emphasize the, whatever... the problem he's having, or what his perceived problem, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's perceiving himself, I guess, is what we're meant to see. He also has a wrestling poster next to him, or on his wall in his room, and it's wow.
WWE, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Wow, you knew who that
Stone
was?
Cold said so! 53.2. So he weighs... Oh, shit.
He went from 55 to 53.2.
Is that what he went from?
Yeah, and it's kilos, so that's 4 pounds?
Yeah.
That is a pretty significant loss.
Really? I really don't think so.
Well, healthy weight loss is 2 pounds a week.
Okay, but this is cutting weight. That's just losing your water weight and stuff like that.
Yeah, but see, it's meant to be unhealthy. You're like, nah, I could lose more.
What's unhealthy is him not training at all, not learning any wrestling, and just beating up on, like, a tiny black kid to become a wrestler.
I worked out for him, but I guess so. I mean, he would have been completely toast if he was against Sean. That.
Right?
So.
Also, like, it just meant one person per weight class. Like, what team like wrestling is like, oh, we're only gonna have like 8 players at most? That will make sense for the sports team. That will really get us funding if we only have 8 people doing it.
I know. Just another,
Wrestling's like one of those sports where like they need bodies. It's like rugby. You just need bodies, or else you're not gonna get funding.
I'm gonna drop in the whatever it takes moment of the episode.
He's gonna poop it through?
Well, he's willing to do whatever it takes to... First, it's just make the wrestling team.
You know what they should have done? They should have had him, like, shit himself from the laxatives. That would have been a better, like...
There's actually a very similar plot to that in a later episode.
Oh, damn.
With Jenna, she's taking, like, weight loss pills, and then she's, like, meant to be on the top of the pyramid for cheerleading, and she starts, like, shitting herself, and, like...
Oh, my God.
But also, she's not aware that, another reason she's getting fat is she's pregnant. So she, like, took weight loss pills while she's pregnant with Ty/Doug.
Thalidomide, baby.
I mean, he ended up okay as far as we know, but I guess we don't really know because he exits pretty early. So...
He's a jock now.
He's very proud of his jockness. I'm gonna give Ashley another fashion crime ticket.
Me, a fashion criminal.
Because she has that really thick winged eyeliner, and she's wearing asymmetrical earrings. She has different earrings on each ear. One's like a dangly cross, one has like a red jewel, lots of hoops going on, and I'm into it. It's so of the time, and it's really coming back around, or at least I want it to. They choose to have her drinking grape juice because he makes a joke about her sipping her blood, which is kind of funny because she's drinking grape juice. But grape
cranberry.
Juice... Oh, I guess it could have been cranberry. I was going to say grape juice is really, like, sweet and cloying. That'd be, like, kind of intense in the morning.
I like cranberry. It's kind of blood color.
Yeah.
Although blood's, like, if we're being honest, is, like, red. It's like hot sauce red.
Yeah, it's kind of, like, opaque because it's... If you get the real kind.
What, you get the real kind of blood or the real kind of hot sauce?
Oh, I was thinking the real kind of cranberry.
Oh.
That was a live sound effect. But the point of this scene is Ashley's starting to notice that Toby isn't eating as much as usual, and she's concerned. One of the few episodes I don't completely hate Ashley.
Also, I don't, like... Were you not, like, okay with going without eating when you were younger?
I mean, there were times where I had to pack my own lunch, so I would just eat dry ramen, but...
Well, I never got, like, pocket money, so the only pocket money I really got was, like, food money for lunch, so sometimes I'd, like, save part of that and go without. You get, used to just not eating.
Okay.
Now that I'm older, I can do it. Like, if I'm hungry, I need to eat.
He's all happy he gets a windbreaker.
Who's he? Your mom?
Mohammed gives it to him, Mr. Asshole of the episode. He gets Nadia to take a picture of him. Her camera's so old, definitely a film camera. It's really hilarious. He tries to get Kendra to, like, hang on his arm for a photo, and she's like, no thanks. But she does mention that they're gonna cheer him on, and he's just so stoked on that. It's working, essentially.
Catch ya later.
She,
JT dressed like Guy Fieri.
Yo, dog.
He has, like, flame shirt and, like, what a, like, paisley shirt on top of it. That's so funny.
You guys want a real fashion crime?
And his hair spiky also. And the chain. They're looking...
I would wear it if I was a fatty.
Yeah, it's like...
Paige is a hater.
Is she being nice or not? It's
no,
kind of
she's
hard
being
to tell.
a hater. I'd wear that if I was a plus. It's like... They wear, like, make clothes for... that look the same in your size.
But when Terry's, like, canceling her stuff and admits that what Muhammad said bothered her, then Paige is like, who cares, you know, and tries to, like, get her to believe in herself, which I
guess,
like.
but it's still being like, you're a plus, and you should just accept yourself. Like, it's one of those things, like, you have inner beauty, it seems like, instead of just being like the Spinner version, you know? I feel like that's more genuine.
So they show a bunch of plates in the cafeteria, and then they show Toby's with, like, you know, just an apple on it. So it's
Makes
like,
no sense if he's cutting weight. That's a pretty water-dense food there, Toby.
David with the knowledge.
Not really. I'm just saying.
His vision's starting to get blurry. That's, like, pretty bad sign.
He's so stupid. Like, I'm sorry. He was fat. He was fat before the laxatives, and we're supposed to believe that, like, he's about to die because he's lost about, like, at most 10 pounds. Like, that is insane. And I'm sorry. I know, like you said, like, healthy weight loss and stuff like that. But if you're a guy, you can, like, shed off, like, a good amount of pounds really quickly and stuff. Like, within, like, a week, I could probably lose 10 to 15 pounds. And not be, like, starving myself and only eating one apple. And things like that. Like...
I know what you mean. It's kind of one of the drawbacks of the format of Degrassi is, like, they kind of do it in the later seasons, but in the earlier seasons especially, it's like the plots have to resolve in one, maybe 2 episodes. It can't be...
But, like,
and
what's the plot of this one? Like, don't do sports? Don't try really hard?
No, they're saying don't, like,
be yourself,
starve
a
yourself.
nerd? I guess.
Don't, like, starve yourself to, like, you know...
Maybe it's more of a problem in Canada.
I think that they just tried to take what, like you said, what would have in real life taken maybe, like, a few weeks and, like, make it happen in one episode, which made it...
Okay, yeah.
You know.
So, yeah, it'd, like, have to be, like, something like he's already in shape and he's, like, still getting beaten or something, and he's like, okay, if I can, like, cut... And he's already, like I said, he's in shape, so there's not much to cut. Again, like I said, I could lose 15 pounds because I am not in shape.
Yeah, they make it a little bit more realistic, but kind of heartbreaking later when it's Emma and Manny also, but mostly Emma.
Soundtrack's pretty good on those episodes.
I've been trying to start a Do Gays Watch Degrassi Spotify playlist, but so many of the season 1 and 2 songs are just, like, not on Spotify because they're so obscure. So I might have to wait until a few more seasons in to really get it going.
Right. I mean, eventually they'll have Natasha Bedingfield.
Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your
Isn't that like, don't they use it for, like, shampoo commercials? I feel like that's like a shampoo commercial song.
I could see that. You know, like when the water, like, you know.
So she's still calling Jeff, Mom and Jeff.
Toby calls Kate.
But that'd be weird, like, I'll have to tell Mom, like, just think about that. I guess it makes sense. I'll have to tell Mom and Fine. Well, I'll tell Dad and Kate that you're a bitch.
So, to prove to her that he's eating, he orders a bacon chili burger supreme, chunky fries, extra Sheila sauce. Sheila sauce is one of those things that I've always, like, wanted to try from a show, you know? Like...
What color is it? Has it ever shown?
I don't know. I'm imagining that it looks like Thousand Island, but I don't...
Yeah, I thought it would just be ketchup and
I don't
mayo.
know if I made it up. I don't know if I made that up in my head, though. It varies, possibly just Thousand Island. But, you know, like Krabby Patties or whatever. It's just like, I wonder what that tastes like. Or Pretty Patties. They match our purses.
Look what it did to my tongue.
We want our money back, all 453 of us. Enough quoting SpongeBob. Toby.
Okay, burning the money. Sorry.
Burning it, burying it.
In the end.
We just decided to give it all away. I'm getting back in line. JT, a.k.a. Guy Fieri, a.k.a. Jamie Lee Curtis, comes into the bathroom and hears Toby puking and offers to get him the nurse, and he says no. JT's like, that's weird, but
Toby usually doesn't want privacy in the toilet. He usually lets me sit on his lap while he's vomiting.
What?
I don't know. If I was vomiting and I was like, fuck off, leave me alone, I'd expect my friends to fuck off and leave me alone. I don't like being in an audience while I'm ill. I'm like one of those animals where it's like I gotta hide from predators. They can't see that I'm in a weakened state, or else they'll eat me.
Very likely. Incoming another extended scene.
I can't believe you deleted me.
So this scene in which JT and Ashley are talking is a little bit extended in the deleted extended scenes. JT makes a joke about tuning into his love vibe. Like, she says, let's skip your little fantasy. And he's like, okay, let's talk about yours. But she gets him to be serious. She's worried about Toby, you know. And when she mentions eating disorders, he says, I'm pretty sure Toby's a guy. Like, that's girl stuff. And Ashley says, no, guys can have it too. And this is like a teaching moment. Like, guys can have it too. So she says, if you notice anything, I want you to know about it. And in the extended scene, he says, does yakking in the bathroom count? And then she's like, that's it. I'm telling my mom and Jeff. And then JT says, no, don't tell them. I'll talk to him. He's my best friend. He'll listen to me. So that's the scene that they cut out, is that added bit at the end. I think it's a pretty good bit, but I could kind of see why they cut it out, because maybe they don't want to give people the idea, like, if there's something going wrong, you should wait, you know, to tell people. Maybe they want to, like, give the impression, like, you should tell people as soon as you think something's wrong. Toby is now visibly ill. Even Mr. Simpson can tell. He declines to see Nurse Henderson.
Bardell. They're taking on Bardell.
Well, I have brought in the make it through moment before the it goes there moment. I don't care, because this moment is too cute to not mention. Terri is at the bus stop next to the giant picture of herself. She's canceling her shoot on her fancy phone, but Spinner comes up and tells her that guys like girls like her with a figure, and any guy that doesn't is blind or jealous, so she should just tell them to shut up. And it's like one of Spinner's sweetest moments, especially in these earlier seasons. I just love it. And I really feel we were robbed of a Sperry relationship.
Maybe. It'd have been better than him and Emma.
I know. That was a little bit of a weird, you know, forced. Harry's very touched. And she should have just been like, I love you, Spinner.
Gatorade.
Oh, another Gatorade product placement.
7 slamming spices.
Toby looks terrible. JT tells him so. You're just spicy today. What's up with that? JT tries to impress upon him not to wrestle because he is worried. Ashley is worried. Toby gets defensive, but He also says, there's a room full of people out there waiting for me. Me, and I'm gonna make them proud. Or whatever he says.
Yeah, they all came for Toby Isaacs.
And not Sean, the MVP.
Yep.
Oh, they are wearing the helmets. I just didn't notice.
Well, some are wearing, but some aren't.
Interesting. Maybe they're just for show.
I mean, in rugby, they're for cauliflower ear.
Yeah, see, he isn't wearing it to wrestle.
Maybe he doesn't care about cauliflower ear.
I'm scary.
You ever seen someone with it?
I don't think so.
It just makes your ear look like a flat disc, basically, with a hole. Like, there's no definition in the ear. It's just all puff.
I can't handle that.
It's very weird.
Let's not shame people's ears. I mean...
Hey, you have to be a badass to get it.
There you go. But that leads us to the it goes there moment of the episode. I'm great with the buttons. Toby wrestles and he ends up fainting in the middle of his wrestling. Everyone's like, oh no, Kendra's freaked out, Ashley's freaked out. JT's like, come on buddy, wake up.
What a bitch.
No, it's scary and it's the consequences of starving yourself.
Nah, you'd laugh at him. If it was real high school, you'd be like, remember when you tried to starve yourself and you passed out? Your first wrestling match like a bitch. Remember that, Toby? Remember, I'm gonna be a jock. Remember, you said to me they were waiting out there for me. You're a fucking idiot, Toby. That's what a real friend would be like. But anyway, this is TV and it's supposed to have a good message.
I know, in high school when there was that, you had to...
Remember that kid who threw up?
Yeah, it's because we had a Spirit Day activity where you had to eat, a bunch of... Was it really dry donuts or really dry
something
crackers?
Like that.
It was dry crackers or dry donuts or something. You had to eat them with dry mouth and then you had to drink a bunch of water. And he it was the grades versus each other, which is super unfair. 14-year-old versus 18-year-old. And he was the freshman one and he just bleh, all over. It was oh my god. It was so terrible. And then that one teacher stepped in it. She wasn't paying attention.
I forget if it was... I'm pretty sure it was in Scotland. It seems like more of a Scottish thing. There was a kid the year below us, and his nickname was Beans. Because he really was a really nasty fart. And so that's all he was known as for the entire school was Beans.
So mean.
But that's realistic. No one would be like, Beans, are you okay?
We all wish we lived in the more emotionally supportive world of Degrassi.
Right.
Oh my god. So, in the next scene, they're talking about Terry's shoot, so she ends up not canceling. She ends up going, and Spinner's heart-to-heart with her really encourages her. So that's awesome. Unfortunately, they pass by Muhammad selling ice cream, and he makes another asshole comment. Says that she should join the sumo team.
Which isn't even a thing.
Yeah, no. At first she's going to walk away, but then she decides to talk back to him. She says, most girls on the planet look like this, so get used to it. I am a plus-size model, or I made $500 today as a plus-size model. Yeah, plus size. How much do you make, ice cream boy?
Proving that if you're physically unattractive, it doesn't matter as long as you have power over someone else.
It's true.
It's what Donald Trump knows. Doesn't matter how ugly and horrible you are, as long as you have the power. I mean, whatever. Terry, I'm pro Terry giving her shade. Again, why wasn't it school and well, your mom's dead.
We never got enough backstory from Muhammad to know if his mom was dead.
No, I mean, Terry's mom's dead. That's what I'm saying. If Muhammad was if someone's oh, you're an ice cream boy, I'd be like, is your dead mom want ice cream? Something like that.
That's rude.
Well, I mean, again, I guess Muhammad was the rude one first, so you're right. Everyone was asking about you, Toby.
Yeah, the episode.
He's probably lying. They were probably all like, oh my god, what a fucking loser. Did you see him? Oh my god, hilarious.
He says, especially Kendra, she said, oh my gosh, I was so worried. That being said, that is the end of this episode. Mirror in the bathroom. Toby never has an issue again, and that's exactly how eating disorders work. The next episode that we are watching is episode 10.
Toby gives back his wrestling jacket.
He probably had to. That's pretty sad.
Manuela.
Oh, okay. This is episode 10, Take My Breath Away. The classic episode where Manny and Craig go out for the first time, but Manny isn't mature enough to pull it off. It's so amazing. Won't you be my Cinderella? Can I kiss you, Manuela? Get ready for it. We'll be coming back with Take My Breath Away.